And then you had something around 1968 come in called the Southern Strategy. And the Southern Strategy was, how can we use the politics of George Wallace without the N-word? And how can we make black and white people be against each other, the ones that really need to be allies, poor and hurting, black and white? How can we separate them? And how can we target 13 southern states from Virginia to Texas so that we can control 13 states? Now, I know some of you say, well, 13 states, what difference does that make? Well, if you control 13 states from Virginia to Texas, you control 171 electoral votes. Now, you only need 270 to get elected president. So if you control 171 with just 13 states, you only need 99 from the other 37 states. And then if you can play that game in the Rust Belt a little bit, and in the Bible, in the Wheat Belt, and then some of the enclaves in the North, pitting people against one another who ought to be allies, then you can control, they believe, you can control elections for another 50 years. And the Southern Strategy started in 1968. And this is the 50th year. You better hear what I'm saying, America. And the goal was to not, you can't be Wallace, you can't be outright racist, you can't use racist words, right? But Kevin Phillips told Nixon, I'm going to teach you a new way to talk. I want you to talk about entitlement reform and racialize that and basically say to poor and other white folk that because of these entitlements, the very entitlements that they use the most of, but because of these entitlements and black folk getting money and brown folk getting money from the entitlement, that's why you're poor. So entitlement reform, forced busing, states' rights. And then Lee Atwater said, we even got more sophisticated than that. We started talking about tax reform. And he said it didn't sound racist, it sounded economics. But the byproduct of it is black and brown people got hurt worse than other people because of the policies out of this that came from this language. But also, it blinded the eyes of many of our white brothers and sisters not to see that they would be voting against their own self-interest. Huh? And the 50th year is this year. And if you understand that history, then you understand that how we come to a Trump. And that Trump is not the problem. Trump is a symptom of a deeper moral malady. And Trump is a symptom, and not just him, McConnell and Ryan are symptoms that something has happened in the ethos of the political atmosphere of this nation, where the majority of folk in the media can't even see how this stuff is being played out, how it's being used to manipulate the mind.